हाँ नीरज।
हाँ जी सर।
सही है, हम तीनों दोनों ज्वाइन करके बैठ जाते हैं।
मेरा
अभी
बैकड्रॉप
जैकेट
ठीक है सर।
पहना। लैपटॉप क्या?
मेरा बैकड्रॉप
बैकड्रॉप ढूंढ रहा है?
नहीं नहीं ठीक आ रहा है।
तेरा कैमरा ही ऑन नहीं है तो कहाँ से आएगा?
अरे अब सर
हाँ सही है।
पेज ठीक दिख रहा है ना?
थोड़ा सा अपने मिनट पे कर लो।
हाँ सर।
नहीं नहीं, बैकड्रॉप बैकड्रॉप। हाँ
पेज
इधर
ठीक लग।
टुवर्ड्स दी शोकेस कर दो। बिल्कुल टच कर दो उस ग्लास के साथ। हाँ ये। अब ठीक है।
पेज ठीक दिख रहा है ना सर? ये उल्टा
हाँ
है।
दिख रहा है। ऊपर नहीं नहीं, सीधा दिख रहा है।
अच्छा।
तुम्हारे
बस।
सिर के ऊपर गोल दिख रहा है। चक्र दिख रहा है। अरे यार, मेरे को भी जैकेट पहनना पड़ेगा। पीपीटी कौन मयंक चला रहा है?
मैं चलाऊंगा सर।
अच्छा, मयंक ज्वाइन कर रहा है ना इसमें?
उसने मुझे ही बोला था कि चलाने के लिए।
जरूरत है उसकी? ठीक है, लेट हिम। वो कुछ और काम कर रहा है इसलिए पूछ रहा हूँ मैं।
ठीक है सर, मैं कर लूंगा।
ठीक। चलो, कलर कलर कॉम्बिनेशन ठीक है हमारा। अरे वाह, एनुअल स्पॉन्सर। नीरज इज शेयरिंग द कंटेंट, बस आगे नहीं आया।
एक मिनट सर।
और यस, आ गया। आज हमारा फर्स्ट इंटरनेशनल मेंबर का पेमेंट भी आ गया भाई।
क्या बात है सर।
1250 यूरोज। इंटरनेशनल मेंबर प्लस वन वेबिनार। ये स्टॉप किया तुमने, आगे नहीं जा रहा?
एक मिनट सर।
मैं शुरू में अनाउंस कर दूंगा कि वी आर स्ट्रीमिंग दिस लाइव ऑन द यूट्यूब ऑल्सो, on the platform, so all the
राइट
participants are
सर।
joining here. So here only the panelists will be visible.
राइट।
अब बीच बीच में वो प्लेटफॉर्म कौन शेयर करेगा?
मैं करूंगा सर।
उसमें ध्यान रखना, थोड़ा टाइमिंग का इशू रहता है।
ठीक है सर।
जब मैंने बोलना शुरू कर दिया ना, उसके
हम्म,
1 मिनट बाद चलाना उसको।
ठीक है सर।
और जब मेरा खत्म होने वाला है, उससे आधा मिनट पहले बंद कर देना उसको।
ठीक है सर।
अदरवाइज वो सिंक नहीं करता है.
ठीक आ रहा है सर ये?
हाँ, आ रहा है ना, अब ठीक आ रहा है.
एक ये हो गया, उसके बाद I will share. ये स्क्रीन स्टार्ट करेगा.
Yes.
तो हर एक स्पीकर के भी ये सेट करूंगा बीच में, एंड देन एक और शेयरिंग है.
अभी 51 नंबर आ रहा है, तो थोड़ी देर में वो 60, 80, 90 तक पहुंच जाएगा.
हाँ, वो तो मैं रिफ्रेश करूँ तो
ज्वाइन किया किसी ने? Good afternoon, Miss Pramila. You are on mute, ma'am. You need to unmute.
You're on mute. I think you're still on. Good afternoon, all. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good morning,
Thank
sir.
you very much for joining. Good morning to you. Yeah.
Good morning. Pramila, you're still on mute. You look to be off mute now. Still can't hear you. Can you hear her?
I think she can hear us. She's on mute. Maybe you disconnect and connect again, ma'am.
Yes, yes.
So, Mr. Sikwa, how are you doing? How are things at your end?
I'm good. Okay. It's quite early. It's 6:30 a.m. here, but fresh and energized and ready to go. How are things? How are things on your side?
Our side is also fine. We have started working again on the last week. Things are improving in India now. A lot of people are getting vaccinated, so that is a good part.
Very good. Very good.
We are hopeful. We are hopeful that soon we'll be able to come out of this.
We are ourselves as well. Ourselves and looking to get better right now as well. So similar trajectory. Pramila? Speak a little bit more.
Good morning.
Yes.
Good morning.
Yeah.
Yes, you have to be little louder, ma'am. Little louder.
Let me just do this. Good morning. Is this better?
Yes.
Perfect.
Better.
Okay, so I'll use my headphone. Excellent.
Yes.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good afternoon, Excellency.
Good afternoon, Excellency. How are you?
You're on mute.
Sorry, now.
Yeah.
Good afternoon to all.
Afternoon.
Thank you very much, Excellency, for joining. It is really pleasure to have you on board.
No, it is a pleasure, and thanks for having organized this. And very happy that we're having the director from Pro Dominicana and the director of investment also joining us.
Yes.
I'll just check because there was some test that had to be done, and I will see if Mr. Smester is ready so that we can run through it.
Okay.
Yes, Excellency, we have half an hour time, so we can have that test.
Perfect. I'll let him know that we're here.
Sure. And Madam Pramila, if you have any presentation, you can just test run right now.
Sure. Siko, would you be pulling up the presentation, or did you want me to pull up the presentation?
No, you have to share yourselves.
Sorry? You have to share
You have to
yourselves.
share from your screen.
Sure, no problem. Pramila, do you have it? I have it as well. Let me
I have
try
it. I do have it. Yeah.
Okay. You can pull in case
Sure.
I'll pull it up for now. But we have you as a backup as well. You guys see my screen?
Yes, we can see that.
1 second. I'll just put it into full screen mode.
This looks better, yeah.
Yes. Are you seeing it? Full
Yes,
screen now.
perfect.
Yes.
Right. Yes. So this is the presentation we'll be sharing, and Pramila will have it on her screen as a backup as well.
Sure.
So we don't have to load the presentation onto the platform, right? We can just share our screen at the time.
Yes, you can
Yes.
share your screen.
Okay. All right. Good. So we are. Looks like we. Did you need us to test anything else?
That is fine. We still have time, so we can maybe switch off our cameras and be on mute, and we join again maybe 5 minutes before 4:30 India time.
And I'll just show you the screen where the participants will be viewing all the presentation.
Because on this screen, all our panelists will be visible. All the participants who are there will be on the platform, the screen which Neeraj will be sharing to you. So they all will be looking at us on that screen. So we have tried to create an auditorium. We have tried to create an auditorium.
Okay.
So physically
okay.
we can't
Understood.
meet. So we thought why not have it? So in the center,
Yes.
we all will be visible once we start doing it. And as of now, like 51 people have already logged in this.
Okay. Understood.
And we have got a few questions from the people and other questions, whichever will be coming from there. So during the session, I will be asking those questions on behalf of the audience, whichever comes after your presentation.
Okay. Perfect. All right.
Excellent.
So we will rejoin 5 minutes before it
Sure.
begins.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we'll see you then.
Okay, see you.
Okay.
Yes, Niraj. Marcial is telling me that he will be ready in 10 minutes.
Oh, perfect.
Okay, no problem.
He's reaching office now, and he'll connect from his office.
Right, sir.
But now it's, I think, 6:30 in Dominican Republic.
So it is too early. It's a actual good morning for them.
I guess in Trinidad Tobago also, right?
Yeah, I think that is what I think Mr. Sikwa was saying. 6:30 there in the morning. Neeraj, you can just put that screen so that the Excellency can also see that this is how we are just trying to promote it. The slides which we have made for the speakers.
Good afternoon, all.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Yes, this is the
Would
High
request
Commissioner,
if
Trinidad
you
and
can switch on
Tobago.
your camera because we can just see your name as
Okay. I am sorry. I thought the
Oh,
camera was
Dr.
on.
Roger, how are you, sir?
I am doing well. How are you?
Good, sir. Thank you very much and namaste. Really nice to see you
Yes,
again, sir.
Pranam. Thank you very much. It's my pleasure.
Ambassador, how are you?
I am doing good, sir. How are you? It's so good to see you. Unfortunately, it's online. I wish it could have been in person.
Next time we'll have the occasion.
Yes, I do look forward to it.
Me too.
You're on mute.
Excellency, can you rename your screen?
Pardon me?
You need to rename your screen.
Dr. Roger,
Yes.
yeah, Dr. Roger, your screen is showing as HP. So if you can rename so that audience can see that way.
Okay, rename the screen. Okay, no problem. Let me see how I can do that. Just 1 second.
Niraj, I saw that. The president will be there, and the vice president also will be there.
No, sir. We just have the
No, sir.
president, Mr. Sanjay.
Sorry.
Our president,
Our
Mr.
president, Mr. Sanjay Agarwal.
President, Mr. Sanjay Agarwal, and Mr. Jagmohan Mungia, the chair of the International Affairs Committee for America. And in place of the co-chair, our Secretary General, Mr. Saurabh Sal, would be joining.
Okay, I will write the names so I can. The Secretary General name,
Sure.
Mr. Saurabh.
Saurabh Sanyal.
Stanial.
Sanyal.
Stanial.
Yes.
And he's the Secretary General.
Yes. You met him briefly when you came to the chamber during the International Week.
Yes, and also the head of international affairs will be there.
Mr. Jagmohan Mungia is the International Affairs Committee, Americas. We have a committee for Americas, so he is the chair for that.
Yes, perfect.
Going to leave the meeting. Didn't start it yet, right? Yeah.
Yeah, thanks. Excellency. Now your name is coming, so all the
Yes.
audience can see it actually.
Thank you very much. I heard that there was a change in person who was supposed to attend. Was that the president?
No, it was the co-chair who was giving the vote of thanks.
Okay.
So now
Um,
in place of co-chair, our Secretary General is joining.
Okay. What is his name again? If you could kindly remind me.
Saurabh Sanyal.
Saurabh.
Yeah, SAURABH. Saurabh
Saurabh.
Sanyal. SANYAL.
SANYAL. Sanyal. Okay.
Yes.
And he is the Secretary General.
Yes.
Okay, great.
David, how are you doing?
Yeah. Good, Marcel. How are you? Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Buenos
Yeah,
días,
good
Marcelo.
afternoon to you.
¿Cómo estamos? Good morning, Mr. Marshall.
Good morning. Or good afternoon to you.
Yeah.
Yes.
How's everything?
So,
Let me see. I have here share.
Yes.
So let me see my screen. Okay, let me do this. Let me put. Okay, I got it here. Okay, yes, I have both that I can share. I see both of my files.
But Mr. Marcel, we can't see your screen as of now. Sharing
Oh,
you have
you
not
want me
done
to put
either.
it up? Okay,
If you
okay,
can
let me
just,
try.
you can just check.
Okay, let me put it up. All right. Um, can you see it?
Yeah, perfect.
Yes.
Right. So let me go here. So how do I take it out?
You have to stop sharing.
Where do I stop it? Wait.
On the top.
On the top.
Yeah. Just move your mouse cursor.
Let me see. It says show active speaker. Oh, okay. I see it now. Stop. Okay.
Perfect.
And let me see the video just in case. Does it show?
Yes.
All right.
it's working.
Okay. So now let me see how I stop video.
Can you just play?
Stop sharing. Okay.
No, no. Can
Now
you just play the video, Marcel?
okay. Let me go back. Share. Okay.
This constant desire to conquer, this constant desire to succeed,
You see it?
Perfect.
All right.
this reflex to calculate.
We started. Okay. All right.
We're set. Very good.
Yeah. We're set. We're good.
So this is how the audience is going to look at you.
Okay. Oh no, that's scary.
No, you look handsome there.
Thank you. Let me. Okay, so here we are. All right, so thank God last night I talked to the director because you know that the schedule comes out in India time. So she had in her mind that it was in the afternoon. When I talked to her, I said, no, it's early in the morning. So she'll connect more around maybe 5 to 10 minutes to 8 o'clock our time before she comes on. Okay, before the ambassador. Just enough time because she has another conference, so she'll connect, she'll hear the ambassador, she'll give her speech, which is a brief words, and then she'll pass it on to me, and then she'll have to leave. Just so you know. All right.
Okay, perfect.
All right, guys. So in the meantime, while we begin, I'm gonna do a little bit of work, and so I'm gonna turn off my video, and I'll connect. Okay.
So
Okay.
we'll come back in 10 minutes then, right?
Right.
It's in 10 minutes.
All right. I'll still listen to you guys when you're gonna begin.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you. Good afternoon, SG sir and President sir. Good afternoon, Mr. Mongia.
Good afternoon, sir.
Excellency, Mr. Jagmohan Mongia is the chair of the International Affairs Committee of Americas, and he represents UFlex Limited. So,
Yes, pleasure to meet you.
good afternoon, SG sir. You are on mute.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mogia Sahab.
Good afternoon, sir.
How are you?
Good, sir. Good.
Yeah.
Good to see you. Good to see
SG
you.
sir, SG sir, we have both the His Excellency is with us. Dr. Roger
Excellent.
Gopal, you met him during International Week
Yes,
from
yes,
Trinidad
yes.
and Tobago.
Absolutely.
And we also have His Excellency Mr. David Buchel, the Ambassador Embassy of the Dominican Republic, sir.
Hello, Excellency. Welcome to the webinar. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for having us.
Thank you so much for sparing your time.
And sir, we also have Ms. Pramila Ramadani, the Vice President Invest from Trinidad and Tobago.
Yes, yes. We saw. Thank you, madam, for joining.
And we have Mr. Sikoy Ellen, the President of the Invest TT, sir.
Excellent.
Good morning. Good
Welcome,
afternoon.
welcome
everyone.
all the
Thank you.
distinguished dignitaries and luminaries from Trinidad and Tobago.
We are really grateful because they have joined us so early. It's 6:30 in the morning there, sir.
God, really wonderful.
The President sir is just coming in a minute or so.
Yeah, he is also joining.
Check this screen.
This is the screen how the audience will be looking at us. Welcome, President sir.
Namaskar. Namaskar. Good afternoon, Sanjay ji.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, everyone, and good morning to our friends in the West Indies.
President sir,
Yes,
we have
good morning to you. Well, good morning to my colleagues that is in Trinidad and Tobago and the West Indies, and good afternoon to all of you here in India.
Thank you so much. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
President sir, I think it is 4:30.
Good afternoon,
If you,
President, sir.
yeah, with your permission, Excellencies, can we start the event?
Yes, please, we can start whenever it's convenient to you.
Yes, sure, sir. So
Yes.
just to give you a brief on this screen, we all the panelists will be visible. All the attendees who are there from India and other parts will be available on the portal where we have made the platform as an auditorium. This is how they will be looking at us. So I am happy that 96 people are already on board with us watching this. So this is how they will be looking at all of us. So thank you once again. So on behalf of PhD Chamber of Commerce and Industry, I welcome you all for this virtual interactive series on global trade and investment opportunities for Indian industry in Caribbean island. So today we have Trinidad and Tobago and Dominican Republic. We are really grateful to both the excellencies for accepting our offer and being with us today. So just to introduce the panelists we have today, we have His Excellency Dr. Roger Gopal, the High Commission of Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, based in New Delhi. Welcome, Excellency.
Yes, thank you, Dhanyavad.
And we also have with us His Excellency Mr. David A. Buchel, the Embassy of the Dominican Republic, based in New Delhi. Thank you, Excellency, for sparing your time today.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And I'm really happy to welcome our dignitaries from Trinidad, Tobago, and Dominican who have joined so early in the morning. Thank you very much for that. We have Mr. Sequoia Elaine, the President of the Invest Trinidad and Tobago. Thank you very much, sir, for joining. We have with us Ms. Pramila Ramadhani, the Vice President Investments, Invest Trinidad and Tobago. Thank you, ma'am, for sparing your time and being with us. We have with us Mr. Marcel Semester, the Investment Director, Pro Dominicana. Thank you, Mr. Marcel, for joining. And soon we will be joined by Ms. Viviana Rivera Disla, the Executive Director of Pro Dominicana. So she will be joining in another 15-20 minutes. And from PhD side, we have Shri Sanjay Agarwal ji, the President, PhD Chamber of Commerce and Industry. We have Shri Jagmohan Mongia ji, who is the Chair of International Affairs Committee for Americas from PhD Chamber. We also have with us Shri Saurabh Sanyal, the Secretary General, PhD Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and myself, Naveen Seth, the Assistant Secretary General from PhD Chamber of Commerce and Industry. And I have my colleague Neeraj, who is the person behind this international affairs, heading the International Affairs Division in the Chamber. So Neeraj is also there with us. So I thank you all for joining. And I also thank the attendees who have joined in from India and Trinidad Tobago as well as Dominica. I am really thankful to you for joining us for this session today. So now I would request Shri Sanjay Agarwal ji, the President, PhD Chamber of Commerce and Industry, to give his presidential address.
Thank you, Mr. Naveen Seth. I hope my voice is clear and audible.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. It's my absolute pleasure to welcome His Excellency Dr. Roger Gopal, the High Commissioner of Republic of Trinidad and Tobago in India. His Excellency Mr. David A. Buchel, the Ambassador of Dominican Republic in India. Mr. Siko Elaine, the President of Invest TT, and Ms. Pramila Ramadhani, Vice President of Invest TT, as also Mr. Marshall Smester, the Investment Director of Pro Dominicana, our friends from Trinidad and Tobago and Dominican Republic who have actually taken the trouble to wake up so early in the morning to join us for this event today. And of course, my colleagues, Mr. Jagmohan Mongia, the Chair of International Affairs Committee for America's PhD Chamber, and by our Secretary General of the PhD Chamber, Mr. Saurabh Sanyal, and our Assistant Secretary General, Mr. Naveen Seth. Friends from the media, ladies and gentlemen, it's an absolute pleasure and privilege for me to welcome you all to this interactive session on global trade and investment opportunities for Indian industry in the Caribbean islands of Trinidad and Tobago and the Dominican Republic. On behalf of the Chamber, I would like to express my gratitude to both the excellencies and dignitaries from both the nations for sparing their valuable time to join us and interact with our guests today. I would like to take this opportunity to briefly mention about the PhD Chamber of Commerce and Industry, which has been working for the promotion of Indian industry, trade, and entrepreneurship as a catalyst for the past 116 years and is a forward-looking, proactive, and dynamic pan-India apex organization. As a partner in progress with the industry and government, the PhD Chamber works at the grassroots level for propelling progress, harmony, and integrated development of the Indian economy. The PhD chamber, as a facilitator of business and industry, has put significant efforts to expand India's investment ecosystem to new heights and taken proactive measures to foster and strengthen India's international linkages. Outbound investment from India has undergone a considerable change, not only in the terms of magnitude, but also in terms of geographical spread and sectoral composition. Analysis of the trends in direct investment over the last decade reveal that while investment flows, both inward and outward, was rather muted during the early part of the decade, they gained momentum during the latter half. The current global pandemic has banned travel worldwide in most cases, which has made it difficult to carry on the business with Indian investors. Friends, India has historically enjoyed a very cordial and warm relationship with both the countries of these Caribbean islands. The relationship between India and Trinidad and Tobago goes back to 30th May 1845, when the first ship, Fateh Razak, carrying 225 Indian indentured workers, reached the shores of Trinidad, then a British colony. Their numbers increased with subsequent arrival of more ships from India. The descendants of those indentured workers, now in their fifth generation, form 42% of the total population, constituting an integral part of the economic, political, and social fabric of the country. The presence of substantial population of Indian origin, the largest ethnic group, has contributed immensely to close bilateral relations between the two countries. Whereas diplomatic relations between India and the Dominican Republic were established in May 1999, and the Dominican Republic opened its embassy in India, New Delhi, in the year 2006. India has an honorary council, a council in Santo Domingo. It has supported the Dominican Republic has supported India for the United Nations Security Council non-permanent seat in 2010, and India's candidature in various international agencies and groups such as ICG, IMO, UNESCO, WHO, and ICAO. It is one of the first signatories of the Framework Agreement on the International Solar Alliance, which has been spearheaded by India. Friends, reflecting upon the commercial relations between India and both the countries, the trade agreement signed between India and Trinidad and Tobago in January 1997 accords most favored nation status to each other. During 2019-20, the total bilateral trade stood at US dollars 169 million, out of which India's exports were US dollars 85 million and imports stood at US dollars 84 million. I don't think one could have wished for a more balanced trade, although one would have definitely wished for a much larger volume of the trade. Based on its economically influential role in the region and supported by regional and bilateral preferential trade agreements, Trinidad and Tobago provides good opportunities to exporters from India to access the Caribbean region and beyond. There is potential from India to access, there is potential for growth of the bilateral trade in textiles, garments, pharmaceuticals, energy, machinery, and petrochemicals, agriculture, IT and film, and music industry. On the other hand, the bilateral trade between Indian and Dominican Republic has increased significantly in the last few years, with the balance of trade in favor of Dominican Republic. The two-way trade between the two nations increased to US dollars 574 million by the end of 1920. India's exports out of this total trade constituted around USD 213 million, whereas our imports were USD 361 million. Main items of India's exports are cotton textiles and ready-made garments, drugs and pharmaceuticals, furniture, transport equipment, manufactures of metal, chemicals, plastic, and linoleum products, tea, processed foods, and marine products. In the case of Dominican Republic's exports to India, gold accounts for nearly 70% of the total exports to India, and India has become one of the top 5 destinations for Dominican Republic's exports. Friends, I strongly believe that it is an opportune time for the Indian businessmen to engage and work in deeper cooperation with their counterparts from both the nations. India can look at both the nations as one of the most vibrant investment destinations in the world and can look at investing in sectors like land and marine infrastructure, education and skill development, tourism, pharmaceuticals, and healthcare, etc. I am also very sure that today's deliberations will enlighten us all on the benefits and incentives honored by both the countries for attracting incoming investments and the sectors and areas for economic cooperation. With these words, I would like to conclude and would once again like to thank you all for sparing your valuable time for joining us today. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
President sir, for sharing your views and setting the agenda for today's session. I am sure the dignitaries we have, they will be sharing more in detail, and we will definitely work very closely with them to take the trade further. So thank you, sir, for sharing your views with us. Now I would like to invite Shri Jagmohan Mongia ji, who is the Chair of International Affairs Committee for Americas for PhD Chamber, to give the Indian industry perspective. Sir, you need to unmute, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Sanjay Agarwal, Ji, President, PhD, for your valued address. His Excellency Dr. Roger Gopal, High Commissioner of Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. His Excellency Mr. David E. Pyok Boucher, Ambassador of Dominican Republic. Mr. Seoul Alliance, President Invest TT. Mrs. Pramila Ramdhani, Vice President Investments, Invest TT, Ms. Viviana Ribeiro de Silva, Executive Director, Pro Dominica, Mr. Marshall Sylvester, Investment Director, Pro Dominican, friends from Trinidad and Tobago and Dominican Republic, Mr. Vishal Dhingra, Co-Chairman, International Affairs Committee for Americas, PhD, Dr. Tushar Agarwal, Mr. Tushar Agarwal, Co-Chairman, International Affairs Committee for Americas, PhD, members of the Indian industry, friends from media, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon to the dignitaries present and our friends from India, Trinidad and Tobago and Dominican Republic. Taking further the views shared by Mr. Sanjay Agarwal ji, President PhD, I firmly believe that there are innumerable opportunities for the Indian industry to consider the Caribbean nations as a window to the South, Central and Northern American market. As we all know, Caribbean is now one of the world's top vacation destinations with as many as 40 million residents, 28 island nations. The Caribbean is comprised of some of the world's most dynamic economies. Trinidad and Tobago and Dominican Republic are amongst the top 4 economies of the Caribbean, while Trinidad and Tobago is the wealthiest country in the Caribbean region with the highest per capita GDP in the Western Hemisphere, coming third after the United States and Canada. Dominican Republic is the 9th largest economy in Latin America and has the largest GDP among the different nations that make up the Caribbean. Friends, the very basis of this interaction, as informed by Sanjay Agarwal, is that the outward investment from India has undergone a considerable change in the both magnitude and the geographical spread and sector composition. It is an apt opportunity for various nations and their respective trade and investment board from across the globe to inform, educate the Indian industry with soap, incentive, regional market, access and other information that will attract them to invest. I firmly believe that today's interaction will provide the Indian industry with in-depth information on the business environment in the region and influence them to consider Trinidad and Tobago and Dominican Republic as a possible destination to expand their business in the region called the Americas. With these words, I would like to conclude the word once again to thank all of you for sparing your valued time for joining us today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for sharing your views with us. now it is the time to hear it from the dignitaries from Trinidad and Tobago. So before that, I would once again take this opportunity and thank His Excellency Dr. Roger Gopal. He has been always supportive because once we were doing our international week during March, he was there for 2 days. Full day he spent with us when we were doing the inaugural session and the day when we were doing the special America's Day. So he was there full day with us. So thank you very much, sir. So I think from there, that discussion, so this is the next step to take it. And I think with the permission of President, sir, the further step would be that we would like to travel to Trinidad and Tobago, take a delegation under the guidance of President, sir, so that we can see
it would be definitely a huge pleasure to go to such, places where, we feel at home also, and we enjoy some of the best nature in the whole world. So, no doubt about that.
So now, His Excellency, over to you. We would like to hear it from you and the other two dignitaries from Trinidad that what are the perspectives available for the Indian industry there.
Yes. Thank you, moderator, Mr. Seth, for your very kind introduction. And of course, Trinidad and Tobago welcomes you. Trinidad and Tobago must be considered your second home, as India welcomed me and made this great land of Bharat my second home as well. So we would love the opportunity to have you visit Trinidad and Tobago, to host you, to show you our culture, our people, our cuisine, and also the opportunities that exist
And
for India and
COVID-19
for
permitting, sir.
yourselves.
COVID-19 permitting, of course.
Yes, of course, of course. So, Mr. Sanjay Agarwal, President, PhD CCI, Mr. Jagmohan Dalmia, Chair, International Affairs Committee for the Americas, Surab Sanyal, Secretary General, PhD, Mr. Seiko Allen, President of Invest TT, Ms. Pramila Ramdani, Vice President, Investments, Invest TT, His Excellency and my good friend, Mr. David Buchel, Ambassador of Dominican Republic, other distinguished speakers from the Dominican Republic, business leaders, captains of industry, greetings from the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. The relationship between Trinidad and Tobago and India spans over 176 years. And as the president said, it started in 1845, which is approximately 50 years before Swami Vivekananda even set foot in America to give his famous speech. We were already there in the Caribbean. Our formal diplomatic relationship was established in the year 1960. However, though we celebrate the glorious past, times have changed. The new order of the world requires new strategies, redefinition of partnerships, and further exploration of opportunities. I am therefore privileged that InvestTT and the High Commission of Trinidad and Tobago can partner with the PhD CCI on this high-level engagement. InvestTT work in partnership with investors from the beginning of their site selection process straight through to the establishment of business and successful operations. It is therefore my honor to introduce our distinguished speakers from InvestTT. Mr. Seiko Allen, President of InvestTT, is a strategic business development professional. Mr. Allen attained an MBA from the University of Toronto's Rotman School of Business and earned a bachelor's degree in commerce at Concordia University, Montreal, Canada. He has leveraged his extensive background in Toronto's real estate, development, and leasing market to play a leading role in the investor attraction effort in InvestTT since its inception. Mr. Allen was intimately involved in the attraction and facilitation of the setup of Trinidad and Tobago's first international call center, ICOR, which is located at the Tamina Intech Park, Trinidad. His primary focus at InvestTT, the National Investment Promotion Agency of Trinidad and Tobago, is to strategically improve the visibility of Trinidad and Tobago as an investment destination of choice and to improve the ranking of the IPA in terms of its ability to attract new investments. Ms. Pramila Ramdani, Vice President Investments of InvestCity, is a dynamic business leader with over 20 years of global experience in leading cutting-edge initiatives in economic development, entrepreneurship, innovation, and higher education. As Vice President, Investments at InvestCity, Ms. Ramdani is responsible for facilitating, attracting, and accelerating global investments into Trinidad and Tobago. Prior to joining InvestCity, Ms. Ramdani held a range of executive and governance roles in Canada, including adjunct faculty at Trent University and CEO and founder of Community Innovation Lab, an Ontario-based incubator for startup entrepreneurs. She has been broadly recognized for her significant contributions to economic impact in entrepreneurship and social innovation. Ms. Ramdani holds an MBA in Community Economic Development from Cape Breton University and a Bachelor of Arts in Sociology from the University of Toronto. I now invite the President of InvestCity, Mr. Allen, to share his remarks. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, all. Thank you very much, High Commissioner. And of course, let me recognize the High Commissioner of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago to India. Let me also recognize the Ambassador, David Buchel, the Ambassador to India of the Dominican Republic, as well as the President of PhD, Mr. Sanjay Agarwal, and also to recognize the Chair of International Affairs Committee for the Americas of PhD, Mr. Jagmohan Mongia. Thank you very much for having us here. And High Commissioner, I would thank you again for introducing us to PhD, and thank the PhD Committee and all the attendees at the Global Trade and Investment Series for allowing Trinidad and Tobago and Invest Trinidad and Tobago, myself and my colleague Pramila Ramdani, to present on investment opportunities on Trinidad and Tobago. And so we will quickly take you through a presentation that will give you more of an overview on Invest Trinidad and Tobago and the services that we offer. A brief overview on Trinidad and Tobago, and I think the High Commissioner already gave some of that information, but I will bolster that with some more detail. And then I will hand over to Ms. Pramila Ramdani, who will take us a little bit more through the Trinidad and Tobago and India connection, as well as the prioritized investment opportunities for Trinidad and Tobago and some industrial real estate opportunities. And then we will move on to the question and answer period. We're extraordinarily excited today to share this information with you, as well as to answer any questions that you may have. So Invest Trinidad and Tobago, in operation for just approximately the last 10 years, is really your partner in business and investment facilitation for Trinidad and Tobago. As the High Commissioner would have indicated, we work with investors all the way from the pre-investment phase, allowing and assisting you with providing all the information you need to do your due diligence on the market, including the assistance in finding property, providing information, as well as site visit facilitation. So we also look forward to the visit of the members of the PhD subsequent to Corona, and we will offer you airport-to-airport service. We then assist investors through their operational phase with all the approvals and applications and liaising with the government agency to get all your approvals for your operations. And then it does not end there. We continue to work with investors through the post-investment phase. We would advocate any policies to allow you to operate in the most efficient manner possible, as well as assisting you with any expansion requirements that you may have. And so InvestCity is really your partner from the beginning through the operationalization of the business and beyond. And so to just give you a better overview of Trinidad and Tobago and some more context, we are the most southerly islands in the Caribbean chain, just off the coast of Venezuela. So this map will give you a little bit of an idea as to where we are located. We are two islands, the larger being Trinidad and the smaller island being Tobago. And we are historically known for our fossil fuel wealth. So the majority of our economy is based on oil and natural gas and the derivatives of those products. We are located in a great location at the crossroads of many of the shipping and flight routes. And as well, we will share more of that information as we go along. As I indicated, Tobago is the smaller island, and Tobago is the island that is more associated with what people think of as the Caribbean, with the sun, sea, and sand, why Trinidad is the more industrialized nation, leveraging its past and history in oil and gas to provide a very sound and strong infrastructure that has really formed the basis of the robust and welcoming environment for foreign investment, with over 400 multinational corporations having chosen to establish their operations here, and not just establish their operations here, but establish their base of operations for the Caribbean and the Central to Latin American region. So really what you look at in Trinidad and Tobago is a very strong economy, the hub of activity, particularly in the English-speaking Caribbean, a prime regional positioning, and of course, an investor-friendly climate for all investors, particularly those that have already invested and expanded within the country and those that are looking to expand. Some of the main reasons that investors have invested and will continue to invest here, really that ideal location at the crossroads of Latin and North America, particularly for those investors out of Asia that are looking for a hub for the Americas. We have very low business costs given our low cost of energy, and Pramila will lead you through some of those details later on. Based on the trade agreements that we've negotiated in the region, we have wide-ranging market access. So a location in Trinidad is not just to operate in Trinidad, but to leverage Trinidad as a hub for the wider region. A world-class infrastructure that has been developed and leveraged off the success we have had in the oil and gas industry, and of course, attractive incentives that form the icing on the cake for investors to set up in Trinidad and Tobago. Just to give you a little bit more context, we are a population of 1.4 million people. We are a member of the Commonwealth, and as the High Commissioner indicated, with a long history of diplomatic relations with India. A similar government type, we are a unitary parliamentary constitutional republic with our head of government, the Prime Minister, Dr. the Honorable Keith Rowley, and our President, the head of state, Her Excellency Paula May Weeks. We are just a population of 1.4 million people with a main language of English. So English is our language of business, our language of social, and so you will find us being an English-speaking population with an exchange rate with the US dollar of just around 6.7 TT dollars to $1 US, to put that in context economically for you. And I would have talked about range in access. In the first instance, Trinidad and Tobago forms a part of the CARICOM Common Market. And that CARICOM Common Market is formed with many of the English-speaking countries in the Caribbean, as well as Central and South America. And that would also include the Dominican Republic. Well, CARICOM has a relationship with the Dominican Republic through the CARIFORUM. And through our market grouping in the CARICOM, we would have bilateral trade agreements with the European Union, Cuba, Venezuela, Colombia, Costa Rica, and of course, very importantly, the USA and Canada. And so again, when you're locating in Trinidad and Tobago, you really have to look at the access to all of those markets as opposed to just the market of Trinidad and Tobago. And again, key sectors in the economy, oil and gas being the major one, off of which we have leveraged a major sector of manufacturing, and we are the manufacturing hub for the English-speaking Caribbean, and as well services, especially and particularly financial services and telecommunication services for the region. And through our market, a wide-ranging market access, you really have an access to almost close to 1 billion people, 553 million people through our trade agreements, and of course, 19 million people in the CARICOM trade grouping itself. Located below the hurricane, just below the hurricane belt, our very southerly location in the region ensures that most of those storms that blow through the Caribbean every year do not necessarily hit Trinidad and Tobago. And so we have a historically very low incidences of natural disasters in Trinidad and Tobago. Culturally, And I will pass over to Pramila after that to give you a little bit more of the connection between TNT India. But we are really a cosmopolitan hub with a vibrant population, really with a rich mix of historical roots. The two main ethnic backgrounds, of course, from Africa and India, each just under 40%, but a wide-ranging mix of population from Europe, the Mediterranean, Middle East, etc. And so Trinidad and Tobago, on its basis of its cultural past and cultural present, has really formed a vibrant a nation that has been ranked the happiest country in the Caribbean to live in and 42nd happiest country in the world. And the investors and the population have been very happy with the country so far. So that is my introduction to Trinidad and Tobago as a whole, and to Invest Trinidad and Tobago as your trade and investment partner. At this point, I will hand over to the Vice President of Investments, Ms. Pramila Randani, who will take us through a little bit more on the India and Trinidad and Tobago connection, and then into the investment opportunities, after which we will answer any questions you may have. Over to you, Pramila.
Ma'am, you need to unmute. You are on mute. We can't hear you, ma'am. No, we are not able to hear.
Yes, Pramila, I think you need to come off of mute, or maybe.
Yeah,
yes,
now we can.
Yes, we can hear you now.
Excellent. Good morning, everyone. Ambassador Gopal, Ambassador for the Dominican Republic, as well as President, executives, business members of the PhD Chamber of Commerce of India. Greetings and namaste from Trinidad and Tobago. I'll be taking on from where Seiko has just left off to bring you some of the investment opportunities of the Twin Island Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. But before I do so, I'd also like to, again, talk a little bit about our history and demographics and our linkages with India. As Ambassador Gopal mentioned, East Indians arrived in Trinidad and Tobago in May of 1845. And they came here as indentured immigrants to work on the sugarcane plantations. Fast forward, between 1845 and 1917, there were about 150,000 East Indians who were brought into Trinidad and Tobago as indentured laborers, many of whom have stayed back and as a result are strong historical roots with India. In terms of religion, certainly the primary religion of East Indians in Trinidad and Tobago are Hindus. We have about 49.5% of Hindus, Islam 11.6%, Pentecostal, Evangelical 9.7%, Roman Catholics 6.5%, and Presbyterians 5.7%. Seiko, did you want to move the slides? Thank you. In terms of our festivals in Trinidad and Tobago, certainly we have many festivals that reflect our linkages with India, as well as reflect the blend with our island festivals. We do have Carnival, which we are famous for. It's an annual street parade that's held annually. We also celebrate Christmas in Trinidad each year. In terms of our East Indian connections, we have Phagwa, which is celebrated every year amongst the Indian population and non-Indian population. We also have Diwali, Eid al-Fitr, as well as there is the Ganga Dhara River Festival, which again, it reflects an annual pilgrimage to a river in Trinidad, similar to the pilgrimages in India. We also celebrate the Tobago Heritage Festival, and then there are some others such as the Ocean River Festival. So it is a land, as Seiko mentioned, of multi-diversity. It's a cosmopolitan hub for the Caribbean, reflecting our global historical roots. And certainly we are also tied with cricket. As many of you know, cricket is one of our premier sports in Trinidad and Tobago, and the Trinidad and Tobago Knight Riders is majority owned by Shah Rukh Khan through his Red Chillies Entertainment Company. Travel routes to Trinidad and Tobago. In terms of logistics, yes, there are several routes available via some of our larger cities into Trinidad and Tobago. Our largest airport is the Piaco International Airport. And flights are available from Toronto, from London, from New York, from Houston, Panama, as well as China. And these are interconnecting flights available. This gives you a general view of some of the frequency of those flights. Given COVID, these may change a little bit, as well as the flight times. As I mentioned, there are no direct flights as yet from Delhi to Piaco International Airport in Trinidad, but certainly there are interconnecting flights via several of the larger major cities. So I'll get now, moving from our cultural links, I will talk a little bit now about some of the PIOs, or the prioritized investment opportunities in Trinidad and Tobago. And in particular, today we'll be talking about 4 key sectors, which is electricity intensive manufacturing, logistics, voice contact center or BPOs, and ship layup, and as well as offshore transshipment. That's in our maritime sector. Electricity intensive manufacturing. So there are several opportunities for food, beverage, tobacco product manufacturing, pulp manufacturing, as well as inorganic chemicals. And these are industries that really makes products using raw materials and energy intensive inputs. Trinidad and Tobago offers low cost utilities. We have one of the lowest electricity rates in the Caribbean. We also provide easy access to international markets, strategic locations, both to North America as well as South America. And of course, we do have a high educated workforce with several tertiary institutions, almost 74 tertiary institutions across a small island of Trinidad and Tobago. This is an overview of, I mentioned earlier, we have one of the lowest electricity rates at 5 US cents compared to the other islands in the Caribbean, as well as some of our South American neighbors. This also gives you a comparative view of our water rates, mobile, as well as our broadband interconnections. Logistics. Trinidad and Tobago also offers several opportunities for you to establish third-party logistics hubs so as to provide integrated logistical solutions to local and regional markets. I will talk a little bit later about our newest park, the Phoenix Park Industrial Estate, which also provides some of these opportunities. Again, some of the competitive advantages in Trinidad and Tobago are access to international markets, a strategic location with our port system, a developed port infrastructure, I should mention. We have 2 ports in Trinidad, 2 major ports in Trinidad and Tobago. We're about 2,200 kilometers away from the Panama Canal. So certainly we do have a center and a very specific areas that can provide opportunities where logistics hubs can be established. Our maritime sector in Trinidad as well is a very large and growing sector because of our strategic location, our deep sheltered harbors, our proximity to the Gulf of Paria. So we do offer opportunities for both transshipment as well as ship layup. We do have coal layup opportunities as well as warm layup shipping opportunities. We are, as Seko mentioned, we are also within the hurricane safety record, so that we don't have to deal with that type of disruption to business, because we are sheltered. We also have a very developed maritime infrastructure in Trinidad and Tobago. In addition, these are some of it within the Gulf of Paria, some of the zones for ship layup opportunities. And they are color-coded in pink. In addition to ship layup, we also have transshipment or offshore transshipment opportunities. And this is really ship-to-ship transfer operations within a pre-designated location within the Gulf of Paria. And again, some of the competitive advantages, we're an island, we are surrounded by the oceans as well as the Gulf of Paria. And the Gulf of Paria is where most of this maritime activity takes place. Again, this is a view of the Gulf of Paria. In green, you would see the transshipment locations. In addition to opportunities in the maritime sector, we also have a growing business process as a nearshoring location for business process outsourcing, call center operation. Multiple opportunities exist in Trinidad and Tobago to establish English-driven voice, customer service, and technical support centers and operations. Seko had mentioned about ICO, which is one of the largest call center operations. They have established their operations in Trinidad and Tobago. It's a growing area. It's a sought-after area, given the global pandemic, for nearshore locations. We do have several competitive advantages for BPOs or call center operations in Trinidad and Tobago. As I mentioned before, we do have a high educated workforce that's underemployed, and this would be a perfect opportunity for call center operations with the talent pool that we have in Trinidad and Tobago. We do also have advanced digital infrastructure. I'll show that to you in a minute. That provides a lot of opportunity to work from home, and most of our call centers in Trinidad and Tobago made that transition very easily during the pandemic. We also have a cultural affinity to the United States of America. Our English language is our primary and dominant language in Trinidad and Tobago. We do have other languages within the island because of our cosmopolitan mix. We can boast of a 99% literacy rate within our educational system. In terms of our digital capacity, this gives you an overview of our digital capacity in Trinidad and Tobago. With a population of 1.4 million, we do have mobile connections around 1.9 million. In terms of internet usage, we also have 1.08 million of our population who are logged on to the internet at any time. Social media usage, this may have increased recently, but it is around 940,000 who are on one or two of those digital platforms. This gives you an overview of our quality of our ICT infrastructure, and this is in comparison to other islands in the Caribbean. It provides the internet download usage, internet penetration in Trinidad and Tobago, as well as the internet servers, mobile cellular use, ICT expenditure, and a number of other factors. So we are far ahead when it comes to ICT infrastructure in Trinidad and Tobago. This is a regional comparison of our operating costs with specific reference to the BPO sector or the call center for contact centers and call center operations. As you can see, it's a comparison with Trinidad and Tobago, Jamaica, and Panama. And in terms of our labor costs, the blue area there that you see refers to our utility costs, which shows we have one of the lowest utility costs compared to our neighbors, Caribbean neighbors, and as well as our Latin American neighbor, and as well as our labor cost as well. It's much lower than the average across the board. I did mention earlier about our utilities, and again, this gives a regional comparison of our utilities compared to some of our Latin American neighbors, as well as our Caribbean neighbors, Jamaica. In terms of promoting digital work from home models, Trinidad and Tobago did that transition seamlessly during the pandemic. We do have a stable infrastructure, very diverse and very educated and talented labor pool in Trinidad and Tobago with excellent geographic location in proximity to both North America and South America. So we are well positioned to deliver services on a competitive basis for the BPO sector. We are nascent economy when it comes to BPOs, but we're also one of the most competitive locations. So what are some of the industrial real estate opportunities? So moving from the BPO sector and moving from the maritime sector, what are some of the industrial real estate opportunities in Trinidad and Tobago? I did mention before our Phoenix Park Industrial Estate. This is one of our newest location, our newest industrial park in Trinidad and Tobago. It is 144 acres. It is currently under construction. And as you can see, it is located in central Trinidad, close proximity to our port of Point Lisas, and as well as close proximity to our Tobago estate. On this Phoenix Park Industrial Estate, we do have about 76 land lots available for light industrial activity and as well as factory shells available. And so our focus here is on three key sectors. As I mentioned, we're located, this park itself is about 144 acres. It is also 5G powered. Next. So this gives you an overview of some of the features of that particular park, the Phoenix Park Industrial Estate. It has access to some of the most modern utilities and infrastructure, LED street lighting, natural gas supplies, underground electricity, electrical and telecommunication infrastructure, 5G network throughout. In terms of access to regional ports, certainly Trinidad and Tobago has two of its major ports is the Port of Spain port, which is our capital city, as well as our Point Lisas port, where you just noticed, where you have just seen where our Phoenix Park Industrial Estate is located. So we are right in a transshipment triangle within the Caribbean islands, which provides us with a very strategic advantage when it comes to transshipment activity. Another one of our park, in addition to the Phoenix Park Industrial Estate, which I just mentioned a few minutes ago, we do have also our Camina Intech Park, and this is located in east of Trinidad, and it offers opportunity on 1,100 acres of land. It is a future city center, an ideal place to set roots to grow in a number of different sectors. We also have the ICO business facilitation BPO located here. This is set aside and away from city congestion. So it's an ideal location, an Intech Park for future opportunities. In terms of hotel development, we are an island, Trinidad and Tobago, we are both islands. So there are several opportunities available in both islands for hotel. And I'll review a few of the hotel opportunities in Tobago at this time. They're both greenfield and brownfield opportunities in Tobago. And this here is a listing of some of the key properties that are available and the acreage. So we have the Anos Vale Estate, which is about 90 acres. That's a hillside property. Blue Haven Hotel, a boutique hotel that is situated on 7.5 acres, prime oceanfront site. Kings, Peter Bay, and Cotton Bay. Here you can have the development of 3 luxury resorts, 56 beach cottages, 100 villas. There's a Speyside Estate. It's a 400-acre property. It's on development. Apologize. In seaside villages. And then we have the Bacalet Bay, which is about 134 acres of land, offering again scenic ocean front properties. So that is an overview of the investment opportunities in Trinidad and Tobago, and I believe now we would open it up for questions.
Yes, sure. Thank you very much, Ms. Pramila, Mr. Alain and Your Excellency, the nice presentation which you have made. So we have got few questions from the audience, which I will be taking it up. So you can. So the first one is, can foreigners establish a partnership or proprietorship concern in Trinidad Tobago?
I will jump in there quickly. Thank you very much. Absolutely, yes. There's several methods in which a foreigner can establish an operation in Trinidad and Tobago. We do allow 100% foreign ownership of locally based entities. If you do want to go it alone, you can. 100% foreign directors set up an operation in Trinidad and Tobago. But of course, if you do want to partner with a local firm as a risk mitigation strategy and to partner with that firm in order to understand the market better and access markets they may have already have access to, then you can also form joint venture partnerships to enter the country. And there are a myriad of ways that one can structure the locally based entity in order to meet your expansion goals. So you have the option of going it 100% foreign on your own, and you can also partner with local investors as well.
Okay. So in continuation to this, another one is, what are the permitted activities if someone wants to set up a branch office in Trinidad and Tobago?
A branch office can be set up as well, and the permitted activities can be under the investment opportunities we've highlighted: manufacturing, business process outsourcing, hotel development, etc. And one can structure the business locally as a branch of the foreign entity. So if you have your main head office in India and you want to set up a branch and call it whatever the name of your company is, Trinidad and Tobago Limited, you can. And InvestDT will give you access to local business providers or legal firms that will advise you on the best way to structure that branch office in order to meet your profit repatriation goals or your overall global corporate governance structure.
Okay. I think the another one is, as an Indian investor, what will be the best investment through government route?
I'm sorry, can you repeat through the...
Through your Trinidad and Tobago government, if an Indian investor wants to make, what is the best investment? Which sector?
Okay. Sure. So, I mean, InvestDT is a state-owned enterprise and it's a government enterprise that is responsible for investment attraction and economic development. And so I think of the investment opportunities that we've highlighted, we do know that India has a very large business process outsourcing, tech support, and IT services industry. And many of those firms are currently provided technology services back into the US and the Canadian market. We think one of the prime investment opportunities in Trinidad is to set up a branch location of your Indian enterprise in Trinidad and Tobago as a nearshore location to service your US-based clientele. So Pramila would have talked about the cultural affinity, the English speaking, and the strong internet and technological infrastructure. You can leverage all of those things to provide services closer to your client base in Trinidad and Tobago, just a 3.5-hour flight out of Miami, 4.5-hour flight out of New York. And so your US-based clients will have the option of having their services provided by you within the same time zone as the eastern seaboard of the United States, while you also support on the back end from your India operation. So we think business process outsourcing industry and that nearshoring opportunity in a location where it's a greenfield location for call centers and tech support. There are not many other companies here doing it, just ICOR. And so you have the opportunity to leverage our infrastructure, our people, our cost base, and our location to deliver those services back to your US-based clientele.
Yeah. So that means InvestDT will do the due diligence for the Indian investor. So you will be their helping hand that way.
Absolutely. So we are looking forward to interacting with any of the investors on this call. We will start providing all the information and the details that some of which we've provided today, but of course there's a lot more detail, and we will hold your hand all the way through the due diligence process, as you've just mentioned. We will support your site visit to Trinidad and Tobago, and we welcome all to come to Trinidad and Tobago, and of course assist you in setting up the operation as well as expanding on from there.
Okay. One more question which we have is, can a foreign investor invest in shares issued by unlisted company in Trinidad and Tobago?
A foreign investor can engage in a share or a partial share ownership of a locally based entity. Again, a partnership agreement. Of course, if it's not a publicly listed firm, they would have to engage that company directly and structure that joint venture agreement with legal advice from local service providers. And so, please, if that is the interest that you have, reach out to us. We will engage you on what type of industry you're interested in investing in. We will do the research of the companies that are operating in that industry, and we can make connections to those non-publicly listed entities in order for you to start discussions around potential partial share ownership.
Oh. So as of now, these are the questions which were there. So I would request if we can get a copy of this presentation, which we will pass out to the participants as well. And if we have more queries, we will compile those and go back to Your Excellency, and we can discuss with him in detail. And if I think SG sir and President sir, if you allow, I need to make a submission that we would like to have a kind of an arrangement with Invest ET under the guidance and patronage of His Excellency, Dr. Roger, so that we can work more closely on this part, and we can be your extended arm here in India, so that we can work and for the benefit of both the industries. So, SG sir or President sir, if you want to make some remark on this,
no,
sir.
No, absolutely. I think this is absolutely our main agenda to be the facilitators of trade and industry, and what better than to actually act as the extended arms of our trading partners. I think we shall be very happy to assist you in every manner possible.
And President sir, I'll suggest to the audience and to Naveen that in case we can find out the feasibility of the government Invest TT, if we can sign a agreement or a memorandum of understanding that our people when they go, their investments are safe, and when they have to get businesses, their bank accounts opened, what will be the taxation, etc., etc. All that information, if they can share with us, and we can put it and circulate it to our members who are interested in doing business in Trinidad and Tobago.
Excellent idea, Secretary General.
Yes, sir.
Excellent idea. Yeah.
Yes, sir. And we can have this docket ready, and we can give it to all our members for doing business in these countries.
Sure. So, His Excellency, Your Excellency, we would like to hear it that how you want to conclude this. So we would like to request you if you can share your views.
Yes, thank you very much. In fact, I must give a special thank you to InvestTT for such informative presentation, and also to PhD for highlighting some additional areas whereby we can take this forum and move forward. I do like the idea of deepening our relationship and partnering together in the search for opportunities that are beneficial to both sides of the Atlantic, to Trinidad and Tobago and the wider Caribbean, and to India. My colleagues from InvestTT, they highlighted the strength of our democracy, the strength of our economy, our access to a large market that goes way beyond the shores of Trinidad and Tobago. In fact, in terms of our trade agreements with India, we have a number of favorable trade agreements, and agencies such as InvestTT are there to support businesses from India and potential investors. So again, I thank you, PhD, for this opportunity, and we look forward to building on this relationship. And after this forum is over, we will continue our engagement, and we will then further discuss the points that you made forward in terms of those agreements and the further information that you require. So from the depths of my heart, on behalf of the Republic, on behalf of InvestTT, I say Dhanyavad. Thank you very much for this opportunity today.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, and we look forward to work very closely with you, as mentioned by our President sir and SG sir, So we'll definitely immediately after this, seek your convenience, come over to you and work out the plan and strategy on how we can take this further.
Indeed. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Our special thanks to Ms. Pramila and Mr. Aline for sparing their time and making this presentation. And we are hopeful and we are sure, confident that we will be working more closely with you on this. Thank you once again. So now we will switch over to Dominican Republic. So I would like to invite His Excellency Mr. David Buchel, the ambassador, to share his views and invite other dignitaries from Dominican Republic so that they can also make their presentation. Over to you, Your Excellency, Mr. David.
Thank you very much, Naveen, for giving me the floor. It is a pleasure to open the Dominican Republic participation this afternoon. Mr. Sanjay Agarwal, President of the PhD Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Mr. Jagmohan Mongia, Chair International Affairs Committee for America, Mr. Saurabh Sanyal, Secretary General, other distinguished members from the Chamber, businessmen, diplomats, authorities from Trinidad, Tobago, and the Dominican Republic. Let me start my brief introductory remarks on behalf of my country by expressing our solidarity and wishes of good health to all the business community of the PhD Chamber of Commerce and Industry after these trying times we have all just gone through in India. I am happy that the public health situation is improving steadily and that we are now able to have this kind of virtual interactions. We are here to talk about business opportunities. This means we are looking at the future with optimism and confidence. I assure you that in the Dominican Republic, we are equally confident that better days are around the corner. I would like to thank the PhD Chamber of Commerce and Industry, in particular its Department of International Affairs, for having conceived an event focused on the Caribbean region. Too many times our countries are overlooked or reduced to their touristic appeal without proper consideration to their overall potential. We need such regional engagement focused on our nations in order to strengthen trade, investments, and raise awareness on possible areas of cooperation with India. The Dominican Republic and India need to work in a targeted manner to push forward their economic relations. The good news is that we already have a dynamic trade. Exchanges between both countries have been steadily growing during the past decade. Before the pandemic, in 2018, bilateral trade reached a record of 800 million USD. That year, the Indian market established itself as the third destination for Dominican exports. Recognizing the importance of the Dominican Republic, India has recently announced the opening of a resident embassy in Santo Domingo in 2021. The Dominican Republic is not only a considerable market in the region, it is also, and more importantly, an ideal entry point to the Caribbean region and beyond to Central America and the United States. The presence of an Indian embassy in the Dominican Republic will definitely open a new chapter in our engagement. Let me now very briefly outline the directions in which we will need to take our joint efforts in order to push forward our trade and investment relations. From our side, we are convinced of the need to diversify our exports to India. Until now, our main export products have been gold and ferronickel. We are already working to identify partners for products like cigar, rum, cocoa beans, among others. Secondly, we would like to see Indian companies participating in public tenders for electric generation, for example, and in new infrastructure projects promoted under public-private partnerships. Last but not least, we would like to see Indian companies investing in the Dominican Republic. We have been for years one of the fastest growing economies in Latin America and the Caribbean. Our stability, our investment policies, and incentive schemes have been attractive to other Asian countries which have developed important manufacturing and logistic operations in the Dominican Republic. There are no reasons for Indian business not to seriously consider these opportunities offered by our market. It is a great pleasure to introduce here today, joining us from Santo Domingo, Mrs. Viviana Ribeiro, Executive Director of Pro Dominicana. Pro Dominicana is the export and investment promotion body of the Dominican Republic. This will be Mrs. Ribeiro's first address to the Indian business community since she took office as Executive Director of Pro Dominicana. We hope that soon she will have the opportunity to come to India and to receive business delegations from India in our country. After her remarks, Mr. Marcial Smester, Investment Director at Pro Dominicana, will walk us through the different sectors in which synergies are possible between our countries. Mrs. Viviana Ribeiro, you have the floor.
You need to unmute, ma'am. Excuse me, you need to unmute.
Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. In your case, in Dominican Republic, we are at the beginning of our day. Thank you, Ambassador, for the introduction. And also, I would like to salute all the authorities and all the people in charge of organizing this magnificent event, and also the colleagues from Trinidad and Tobago from Invest TT. Thank you for giving us this wonderful opportunity to demonstrate your interest in the Dominican Republic as a Caribbean country, which is excellent for nearshoring, establishing free trade zones, industries, and provide services from our country. As Mr. Ambassador Puig was mentioning, my name is Viviana Ribeiro. I'm the Executive Director of Pro Dominicana, which is a government entity that is in charge of promoting exports and also foreign trade and investment in the Dominican Republic. This is a magnificent opportunity for us to speak in this program, even though it's virtually, but we are open to receive any delegation very soon in our country. I feel very honored to be sharing with you insightful information about the Dominican Republic and also the role of Pro Dominicana. We are a blessed country with infinity business opportunities in many diverse areas like tourism, agriculture, commerce, mining, which is actually our best interaction with trade with your country. We have a very strong pharmaceutical industry, not as yours, but a very good one that is strengthening itself in the free trade. We have a very great interaction with goods and services, among others. We have a great opportunity to ride with new regulation, with the public-private partnership, and ever since we started working with the new administration as of August 2020, we have determined ourselves to implement and develop effective and result-oriented strategies in order to promote and encourage Dominican exports, both nationally and internationally, to open opportunities for foreign investors. In the same way, we have worked tirelessly in the attraction and retention of FDI in our country so we can place and maintain our very good position in the Caribbean region, because we have a very good political stability. We also have a great logistics. We have great communication system, as you will be able to see in our video and also the presentation that Mr. Smester will be presenting. Our goal as a government institution is to increase our competitiveness and also to achieve the effective insertion in the global markets. We are working very hard to achieve those goals through the national exportation plan, and also we are promoting all the necessary agreements, trade agreements, and MOUs to establish a relationship that becomes a win-win situation for mutual benefits for both of our countries. As Ambassador Puig was mentioning, we have identified certain products that we see a great opportunity in trade, but also we would like to present in this wonderful event the opportunities that we have in the different sectors, such as energy, industry, also in the service industry, the PPAs, and the tourist sector. We have been working very hard as a government to increase the development, not the main cities or provinces in the Dominican Republic, but also all the country. We have a great connectivity. So I think India can benefit from these opportunities. Also, we would like to mention that we have been working in Pro Dominicana with an investment guide that is full of information, and also to establish in the near future one-stop shop for investors in the Caribbean region, but especially in Pro Dominicana, that will allow that all the permits from the Ministry of Tourism, public public infrastructure, also the environmental ministry, all those permits that we can consolidate in Pro Dominicana, and putting together this one-stop shop is one of our goals in the very near future. So thank you again for allowing me to have this very brief moment in such an important and interactive virtual event. And we will give the floor to Marcialis Master, our Director of Investment, who will be presenting this very short video that will give you an idea of what we have in our country and deepen that in a presentation that we will be presenting here today. Thank you again and have a great day.
Well, thank you very much, Executive Director Ribeiro, for your words and introduction. I would like to thank also His Excellency, Mr. David Puig Bushell, Dominican Republic's Ambassador to India. Also, Mr. Sanjay Agarwal, President of PhD Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and as well as his colleagues and our colleagues from InvestTT, and His Excellency Dr. Roger Gopal, High Commissioner of Trinidad and Tobago as well. Thank you all for being here, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for your presence here and giving us the opportunity at this incredible forum to present all the incredible things that we have in Dominican Republic and all the wide array of opportunities that we also have. So we're going to start off with a brief video that you can appreciate our country, its natural wonders, and also all the strengths and opportunities that we can present to the international community and India, of course.
His constant desire to conquer. His constant desire to succeed. This reflex to calculate everything. This reflex to analyze everything. So many options. What's needed? What's coveted? What's possible? Focusing to manage the essential. Striving to develop the potential. It looks like a deep learning curve. Natural evolution. Levels of skills. Levels of happiness. Levels of aspiration. It's so easy to smile. My fears vanish. The sky is clear. feeling of being without frontiers. My old dreams come back to life. Achieving my objectives, advantages, privileges. Unbelievable. How much difference can it make? How far can I go? All these projects, all these ideas, all these born-again dreams. So many words that should remind me that it's how I get there that is most important. When nothing seems to be moving, I see new beginnings.
Well, I hope you enjoyed it.
Constant desire to conquer. It's constant.
I hope you enjoyed it, everyone. And now let's go to the presentation of the Dominican Republic and all the opportunities that we have. Okay, so as you can see, Dominican Republic is the main destination of investment in the Caribbean. We enjoy an incredible political and economic stability right now. I mean, our macroeconomic stability shows outstanding growth, which we'll show you in the next slide, but it's higher than other countries in the region, such as Panama, Costa Rica, Peru, Brazil, and all of the region, basically. And our political stability, we enjoy a democratic and stable government, which commits to facilitating investments and increasing trade flows. This next slide is very interesting because this will show you we have been the leader in economic growth over the last 50 years. From 1970 onwards, Dominican Republic has remained at the top of the whole region, including South America as well, in growth, which this guarantees that any investment you make in Dominican Republic will surely grow and continue throughout time. So it's very interesting. Dominican Republic, we are the #1 foreign direct investment recipient in the Caribbean. Almost 50% of the investments coming to the region come to us. We are the second country when we consider also Central America in English proficiency for a non-English speaking nation. Also, we have the best transportation infrastructure in all the region. We're one of the top 3 Latin American countries in medical devices. And also, we are the second investment destination when we consider Central America as well. And one other thing is we have a very highly skilled and prepared labor force in the Dominican Republic. As you can see here, we enjoy 8 international airports, which has over 50 airlines and over 60 international destinations. You saw in the video, before pandemic, of course, we enjoyed over 330 daily flights, and hopefully we'll go back to that and increase that through the years and during the course of this year. We also have 12 cargo ports with over 1.9 TEU mobilized and 4 cruise ports today currently working. We have a unique and strategic location. As you can see, we're in the heart of the Americas, not only the Caribbean, but the Americas. And as you can see here, I mean, we are 1 hour and 20 minutes from Miami in the United States, and we are 11 hours from the Netherlands, basically. And for sea transportation cargo, we're 2 days and 20 hours from Miami and 13 days from the Netherlands. You will see that a strategic and privileged location in the heart of the Caribbean also has not only the location advantages, but as well, the Dominican Republic has 6 major trade agreements currently with the European Union, as well as with the United Kingdom separately. We also have the DR-CAFTA, which is the free trade agreement with the United States and Central America, and also the CARICOM, which is with the Caribbean nations. So you can have, I mean, all the advantages of not only the location and logistically speaking, for your products to be produced in the Dominican Republic and exported, but also taking advantage of all the incredible agreements that we have, plus many other partial agreements that we have with many other nations. And as the director said, we're working on a one-stop shop through Pro Dominicana for foreign direct investment. But in the meantime, we also have a one-stop shop with our customs procedure where containers are being dispatched within 24 hours. And surely we are the best option for logistics and distribution in the Caribbean. Currently, we are the Caribbean hub. We have direct connection to 28 of 33 islands. We also have Panamax capacity in the ports of Caucedo and Manzanillo, which means they are more than 17 meters deep and receive any type of vessels and ships. We also have primary zones within our ports, especially Caucedo, which allows storage for up to 1 year without paying any tariffs or taxes if the merchandise doesn't come into the Dominican Republic. So you have that option as well. And there you can consolidate cargo, repackage, relabel, and do minor transformations as long as they can be exported out of the country once again, without paying any taxes or fees or tariffs. The Dominican Republic exports through more than 3,167 tariff lines. We also export to more than 167 markets worldwide, and we have more than 4,397 companies exporting to different countries. We have an open economy with more than $30 million in exports and imports. And now going into foreign investment directly, the Dominican Republic over the last 10 years has received for foreign direct investment almost $26,000 million, which provides an annual average of reception and investment of $2,590 million, basically. Something interesting is that 2020, even with the pandemic, Dominican Republic maintained its average of the annual yearly of FDI stock. I mean, we received last year almost $2,600 million, even with the pandemic. This shows the great confidence that investors in the world has in Dominican Republic, but also the wide array of opportunities that we present to the world. We're also FDI recipient of over 55 countries. Now here, over the last 10 years, this is how the foreign direct investment has been distributed and received. Commerce and tourism hold the main areas. Of course, then real estate, which is very dynamic, is also important in our economy. But over the last 3 to 4 years, tourism is the main foreign direct investment recipient. Over 30% of all foreign direct investment comes to the tourism sector. And over what is going on in the course of this year, it's up to 37%. So it's a very important sector for us. But as you can see, we have many, many different sectors, and all of them are wide open for improvement and growth. We're going to show you some of the benefits that you receive when you come to the Dominican Republic as a foreign direct investor. For example, you receive national treatment in favor of the foreign investor, which guarantees the same legal protections as a national investor. You also have liberalization of dividends and repatriation of capital. And also you can receive a residence for investment for the benefit of being an investor in the Dominican Republic, and also a higher level of protections to the investment promotion and protection agreements. One important legislation that we wanted to show you that was passed on by late last year, late 2020, is the special legislation for public-private partnerships. Okay, this is a modern legislation in the development of the General Directorate of Public-Private Partnerships as the institution responsible for structuring, promoting, supervising, and regulating public-private partnerships. We will show you at the end of the presentation some of the main projects that are being run through the public-private partnership agreements, which will come out hopefully later this year, and any investor will be able to participate in it. We've identified some strategic sectors which have investment incentives and full of investment opportunities, like renewable energy, tourism, the film industry, free trade zones, real estate, although we have many other sectors as well. Within the renewable energy sector, we're going to show you right now how it's comprised of. For example, the foreign direct investment stock in the energy sector over the last decade has been over $2.3 billion. Currently, we have an installed capacity of 3,800 megawatts, which is comprised of 74% conventional energy, 26% renewable energy. And here you can see the breakdown of how it's installed basically and how it's distributed. There are many incentives in the renewable energy sector. For example, tax exemptions for the import and final sale of equipment and machinery, tax reduction for interest payments by external financing, and some others more. Now, what is important about this sector? That Dominican Republic, due to the Paris Accord and looking forward to 2030, we want to reduce the emissions of CO2. So this means that from what you saw, currently we have almost 1,000 megawatts of renewable energy. We're looking to more than duplicate that over the next 10 years. So we're ripe for investment in this sector, and there are many opportunities to come and invest in the renewable energy sector in the Dominican Republic. Tourism, which is our main sector, and as you saw, and now here are some key data so you can see, for example, the foreign direct investment stock in tourism over the last decade is almost $6 billion. We are the main tourist destination in the Caribbean. We receive over 1.3 million European tourists, and the majority of tourists we receive are Americans. These are 2019 facts, of course, because 2020 was such a controversial year because of the closing of borders and everything. So this is the last known fact for a full year. We received visitors, over 6.4 million tourists by air, and over 1.1 million tourists by sea, by cruise, okay? The income generated through the tourism sector 2019 was over $7.468 billion. We have over 83,000 hotel units available, hotel rooms. The occupancy rate usually averages over more than 71%. And we have over 885 hotel units available right now. In the tourism sector, you receive 100% tax exemption on income tax, construction permits, land purchases, equipment, materials, and furniture necessary for facilities and the start of operations. Our country welcomes investments from prestigious hotel chains with over 600 projects nationwide, among some which we're going to mention, like the Barcelona Hotels and Resorts, the Rio, Wyndham Resorts, Hilton Hotels and Resorts, Belive, Hard Rock, Sheraton, JW Marriott, Holiday Inn, and many others. Now, this is an interesting piece because currently we have over 130 new projects that have been approved during the past 2 years, with over $10,000 million in new investments, over 50,000 new hotel rooms, and over 140,000 new jobs which projected through these projects. Here we can see, this is a map of the Dominican Republic, and as you can see, we're highlighting some interesting regions which are non-traditional for tourism, but are ripe for development right now, like in the province of Samaná, the province of Maria Trinidad Sanchez, Montecristi, and of course, Pedernales and Barahona, the southwesternmost part of the island. Also, we have many other non-traditional sectors of tourism, like tourism for fishing, golf tourism. We also have deep sea diving tourism, sports tourism, and many other activities that have been developing over the last few years. Film industry in the Dominican Republic. Here we're going to see some interesting data. For example, there's a high diversity of locations for film productions. It has created over 2,500 direct jobs. Foreign investment has been over $426 million, and local investment has been more or less the same. And also there has been over $160 million to the tax system for the film taxes. Okay, there has been more development and more transfer of knowledge in this area as it keeps growing. And there are many incentives in the promotion of the film industry, like tax stimulus to investment in national cinematography and transferable tax credits, among others. And this is just to show you many of the location sites that we have available in the Dominican Republic for any type of movie production, any type of scenery. We have, the natural background, which is something amazing that a country can have so many different scenarios within a small limited space, more or less. We have high mountain ranges, we have incredible valleys, we have, of course, beach and sand, as you know us mostly, but also we have incredible golf courses, PGA rated. We have also desert areas and barren areas. So we have cave areas. So we have everything that you could look for as a natural film background for any movies that you can come in. And as we know, India is a very important country in the film industry. So hopefully we can attract some of your companies to come down here and film and establish themselves. Now, our free trade zones, this is one of the most important areas that we have and sectors that we have in our economy. We're going to show you some key data and incentives. For example, the foreign direct investment flow stock in the free zones over the last 10 years, it was over $2.2 billion. Currently, we have 75 industrial parks available, the majority of them private, 695 companies installed. It creates over 176,000 direct jobs, and it generates in exports over $6 billion. And also we export over 1,900 products to over 122 countries. And the total accumulated investment through the free zones is over $5 billion. Textiles, tobacco, and its derivatives and services make up over 50% of this sector. And of course, within this sector, we contemplate what we call the call centers and BPOs as well, which is a booming also part of the economy and within the free zones because they get all special incentives. For example, it's a basically tax-free sector where almost every tax imaginable can be exempt of. A small anecdote, yesterday I was with an investor from Peru, and we were in the National Council for Free Zones, and we were showing him all the amenities and all the incredible things that we have in the free zone sector. And his remarks was, wow, it's amazing that nobody knows more about this because I mean, and he's coming to invest already, he committed himself, but he's saying, I mean, I'm gonna go everywhere in Peru and I'm gonna tell everybody because I mean, this is amazing what you guys have here. So we just want you guys to see it for yourself so you can see all the good things that we have to show you and for investors to come down to Dominican Republic. Real estate, this is one of our most booming sectors. Of course, it's comprised of industrial real estate as well as tourism real estate. In commercial real estate as well. The FDI flow stock in real estate during the last decade is over $4 billion. Okay, so thanks to real estate development, the properties in the Dominican Republic experience a strong increase in value. This is one of the economies and countries that normally real estate prices don't come down because that's how high value and appraised properties are in the Dominican Republic. And this is one of the sectors that has been generating one of the main dynamism in economic growth with over 15.1% of foreign total investment over the last 10 years. Now, this is a special law that we have for the development of a special border zone development, okay? The border zone, it corresponds to all the provinces that border the neighboring country of Haiti right now. And you have similar incentives like the free zones, basically tax-free and tariff exempt when you establish yourself in the free zone, but it's not also specified for free zone activity. You can do it in any type of industry or sector which you would like. And up to now, it has created over 10,000 direct jobs, basically. But the whole zone is completely available for investors to come into it and take advantage of all the incentives we have and show. Now, let us show you some of our investment projects portfolio as we have compiled from Pro Dominican. Currently, our investment project portfolio houses 24 projects, 7 public and 17 private projects. Among these, you have tourism real estate, industrial parks, mining, okay, special incentives, different property vocations, health, aquaculture, and the private-public partnerships. We're going to show you specifically the 3 projects currently identified through our private-public partnerships, okay, which are coming out later on this year, so you all interested can participate in them. Here, you can map out the 24 projects as we presented. We have many interesting projects, especially in the tourism and real estate area. For example, in the Punta Cana area, right for development and tourism, Playa Grande, But as you can see, all throughout the country, we have many interesting projects available. And I'm going to show you what you can see in the northwesternmost corner of the map for Puerto de Manzanillo is one of the projects. Also, Pedernales on the southwesternmost part of the map, the development of tourism in Pedernales, and also the construction of the Amber Highway, which will connect Santiago with Puerto Plata on the northern part of the map, as you can see. These are the three projects that we wanted to show you so you can take a look and glimpse at it. For example, the Amber Highway construction, which is the highway that will connect Santiago, which is the second largest city in the Dominican Republic, with Puerto Plata. Today it takes over an hour and a half to get there. This will shorten time for 25 minutes, basically. And it's a strand of almost 33 kilometers, okay? The approximate investment amount being determined is around $400 million for a project term of 40 years, okay? And it's a public initiative right now. And it's a construction process, and it's the first project that's gonna come out for investors to bid on it and participate. The other project is Port of Manzanillo, which is an infrastructure project in Pepillo Salcedo, Montecristi, on the northwesternmost part of the island, as you saw. Here you see the map, it's right here where the red dot is, okay? It's also a public initiative. It's an infrastructure project, basically. Still, it's undefined because it's being worked on by the Inter-American Development Bank right now to develop, to see the study that they're doing to determine specifics on the project, but it's going to be considered a project for 40 years, basically. And last but not least, the tourism development of the province of Pedernales. The province of Pedernales right now is a public initiative as well. The whole province is going to be developed, but this is phase one. What has been determined as phase one it's a public initiative. The approximate investment is around $1,500 million, $1,500 million for a 40-year term. Okay, it's in the southwesternmost of the Dominican Republic, and here the area is called Cabo Rojo. But the development is going to be complete, integral, because right now it's completely barren. So you're going to have a development of infrastructure, energy, water treatment, sewage, roads, high school, schools, hospitals, everything. And then of course, the tourism infrastructure so that tourists can come into the area. Right now, it's still being worked on the master plan because right now we're still taking to see which areas will remain protected, which areas will be ecotourism, which areas will be normal tourism. And from Pro Dominicana, we offer our investors a step-by-step accompaniment through the investment process, as well as exporters to place their products into the international markets. We promote the Dominican Republic in the international markets, and once investors decide to come down to the Dominican Republic, well, we accompany them from the first moment that they decide to invest all throughout their lifetime. We are here for you. We are the investment promotion agency of the government, but we work closely with the private sector. And our goal is to keep investors happy and keep them in the Dominican Republic growing, expanding, reinvesting. So please come down to the Dominican Republic. You're more than welcome. Cordial invitation has been extended to all of you. So we await for you with open arms. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Marcial, Ms. Viviana, and Your Excellency for an exhaustive presentation and giving us the overall view that what all are possibilities which our Indian community can look for it. So before I take the questions on behalf of PhD, I have a question to both the Excellencies. Sir, as PhD, we represent most of the MSME units which are there in India. So we would like to understand from you that what are the specific schemes or incentives being offered if our Indian MSME is trying to come to your country. So we would like to know from both of you that is there any special scheme or incentive for MSME sector? Yeah, Excellency, Mr. David from Dominica, if we have some special incentives or scheme for MSME companies who are small scale companies who want to come and invest in or participate in Dominica.
Well, I think that for small medium the same schemes applied, but Mr. Marcial might correct me. It's our free trade, special economic zone schemes that apply that has a certain number of incentives, of conditions, but I don't think that we have a specifically tailor-made medium and small enterprises. I think we have a general framework that apply for all investors from abroad, be them large, medium, small, and welcome them with all with the same conditions and with very attractive incentives and schemes.
That's correct. That's correct. We welcome any type of investment. It doesn't matter how small you think it might be or how big. I mean, it's the frame and the incentives opportunities are available to everybody that wants to come to the Dominican Republic.
Okay.
And by the way, I will just mention that a couple of years ago we had small medium enterprises from India investing in the IT sector. We had, not the main players in the IT sector, the very big ones, but we had the small medium companies investing in the BPO sector in the Dominican Republic.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. So, Dr. Roger Gopal, is any specific scheme or incentive available for MSME Indian companies to come to TNT? Sir, you are on mute, sir. Kindly unmute.
Yes, I will be very happy to pass that question on to my colleagues at InvestTT, since it's their area of specialization. So I will ask either Ms. Ramdani or Mr. Sekou to please take the floor.
Oh, hello. Sorry. Would you repeat the question, please? 1 second. Can you repeat the question?
The question is that our chamber, basically most of our members are from the micro, small and medium enterprises. So we need to understand if there are any special incentives or schemes being offered there for these kind of companies to come and participate in TNT.
Similar to the Dominican Republic, the incentives that we offer here would apply whether firms are large, medium size, or small. We do have fiscal incentives that allow for the importation of items involved in your production duty-free and without customs duties, as well as taxes. And we also do have an existing special economic zone regime, similar to the Dominican Republic, that will be passed soon and will be a derivation of our Free Zone Act, which will allow for customs duty exemptions, tax exemptions, as well as income tax exemptions as well. So we treat all enterprises interested in investing in Trinidad and Tobago the same, as long as they would apply for the incentives and be approved.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. So now coming to the specific questions to Dominica, the first one which has come up is what is the current visa regime for Indian businessmen visiting Dominica?
Visa regime?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So the visas are handled from the Embassy of the Dominican Republic here in Delhi. Indian businessmen require, or Indian travelers to the Dominican Republic require a visa. But it's important to know that all travelers or all Indians that already have a US, UK, European visa don't need a visa to enter the Dominican Republic. They can just travel to the Dominican Republic and get a visa on arrival. If a businessman needs a visa, we give a business visa for for one entry or multiple entry, depending on the requirement. If there's an exploration or a project that might take more time, we give 1 year multiple entries, and we try to expedite really the process. It doesn't take long. Usually we have it ready in 3-4 days. I mean, from the application time, we send to the capital for guidance and then for approval, and then we issue the visa. It shouldn't take more than 3-4 days, and this is done with the aim to facilitate travel and to have people that are really interested in our country traveling as soon as possible to the Dominican Republic. Other than that, of course, we give tourist visa. There are people traveling for tourism to the Dominican Republic.
So just wanted to understand, is there preference given if a recommendation letter is given by the chamber for the business visa? So do they get some priority?
Yes, sure. I mean, if there is a businessman interested in the Dominican Republic, the businessman has to show what is his interest, what is his company, who is backing him, if he has any partners in the Dominican Republic, and of course, with a letter from the PhD, that a letter from the PhD will definitely support the application. But as I said, it's a very straightforward process in which we just want to make sure what is the areas in which you're going to work there, and what is the company that is interested in the Dominican Republic, and if it has any affiliations with chambers of commerce and chambers of commerce that we know, this is even better for the application, of course.
Okay. So the another question which is, what are the limits of FII investment in securities in Dominica?
The limits of FII investments.
Yes. Is there some limit, or it can be any limit?
It can be any limit. Yes.
Okay. Okay. And what is the procedure for making portfolio investment for a non-resident Caribbean?
For making one of the portfolio investment, you mean financially, or one of the portfolio projects in the project in the portfolio that we presented?
Financially.
No, basically opening a bank account, but you can do it as a foreigner. And from there, you just work with any financial entity that can host the investment.
Mm-hmm. So is it permissible for an Indian startup in Caribbean to secure foreign funding as well?
Yes.
Okay. So these were the basic questions. I think rest, once we have your presentation, we will circulate among our members and compile all other queries if they have, and then take it further with you on this part. And as we mentioned earlier also, Your Excellency, Mr. David, we would also like to have enter into an agreement along with Pro Dominica so that we can work more closely and we can share our ideas with each other. We can have more interactive sessions or maybe meetings with our members so that they would also know more about these activities which are there. So we would like to enter into a memorandum of understanding as per your guidance.
All right, good. One last thing I would like to say, His Excellency, if you allow me. Basically, you will receive our presentation, and also you will receive, through His Excellency Mr. Ambassador Puig, our foreign investment guide, okay, which is a comprehensive look at the Dominican Republic, and will show you also sector by sector laws, incentives, and also workable flowchart of how to invest per sector in this in our country. Okay, so it will give you an orientation and a guide, and of course we are here to go more in depth once you need it, but you will receive it, okay, in English, of course, and you also will receive the investment projects portfolio that we just showed a glimpse of, so you can look at it and share it with your members and any interested investor that would like to come to the Dominican Republic. And we cordially extend an invitation for any interested investor that wants to come to the Dominican Republic. Please feel free to contact us directly through our embassy, and looking forward to seeing you guys here very soon.
Sure. Yeah, thank you. I think with this, we are almost at the end of the session and well in time as we scheduled. So that is also a good part, because during the webinars nowadays, we either shoot up the time. So this time everybody was well within the time. So that really appreciate that part. So now I would like to invite Shri Saurabh Sanyal, the Secretary General, PhD Chamber of Commerce and Industry, to give his concluding remarks and propose the vote of thanks. Over to Shri Saurabh Sanyal. SG sir, I think he is busy on another call. So in the meantime, I will take this opportunity to once again thank both the excellencies that you have spared your time, and both the investment boards which are here, which have given us the detailed possibilities which are there with whom we can work on this, and we look forward to have these more interactions so that trade can enhance between the two countries. So I think that way we would like to thank you once again for this, and we will come back to you soon with what all we have discussed in this meeting today. So now I think Mr. Saurabh Sanyal, I would like to invite him to propose the vote of thanks and also give the concluding remarks.
Thank you, Mr. Naveen, my colleague and Assistant Secretary General. Good morning to all our friends from Trinidad and Tobago and the Republic of Dominica, and good evening to our friends from India. His Excellency Dr. Roger Gopal, the High Commission of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, His Excellency Mr. David Bushel, Ambassador, Embassy of the Dominican Republic, Mr. Sekou Allen, President in InvestTT, Ms. Pramila Ramdahani, Vice President Investments InvestTT, Ms. Bivinia Rivero, Executive Director Pro Dominicana, Mr. Marcel Smester, Investment Director Pro Dominicana, friends from Trinidad, Tobago and Dominica, Mr. Jagmohan Mongia, our Chair, International Affairs Committee for America's PhD Chamber, our President, Sri Sanjay Agarwal, PhD Chamber of Commerce and Industry, members from the Indian industry, managing committee members, former presidents, friends from the media, ladies and gentlemen, and my colleagues from the Chamber. On behalf of the Chamber and on behalf of the leadership of the Chamber, and on my own, I would like to express my gratitude to both the excellencies and dignitaries from both the nations for sparing your valuable time to join us and interact with the guests today. We had a large number of investors, businessmen and business entities, members and non-members who are attending this conference and who are present on this platform today. Indeed, it was very, very enlightening and interesting to know of the various incentives and schemes of the government of Trinidad and Tobago and the Republic of Dominica to promote trade and investments with India. In fact, it's an eye opener to to each one of us that Trinidad, Tobago, and Dominica has so many investment opportunities as well as so many projects which were discussed in detail and brought out in this platform. We really thank both the excellencies and the investment boards who Mr. Sekou Allen, Ms. Pramila Ramdhani, and especially Mr. Marcel Smester for giving us a detailed account on these projects. My sincere thanks to each one of you from Trinidad, Tobago, and Dominicana for having given a beautiful presentation, and we would like to retain these presentations to circulate them to our members who are really keen to do business, especially the members who are doing business in Central America, the South America, and the United States of America. Last but not the least, my sincere thanks and gratitude to the High Commission of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago and the Embassy of the Dominican Republic for their encouragement and valuable support to us in organizing this event. I would like to also express my sincere thanks to the members of the Chamber, our business entities from India, Trinidad and Tobago, and the Republic of Dominica, and our friends from the media for attending today's session. I'm sure that I speak for all present here that we indeed had a stimulating session, and all the participants will take back with them all the special, beneficial, and fruitful disclosures that were done by the excellencies as well as by the investment boards. I now request all present to carry this vote of thanks with acclamation. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and let us have a round of applause for such a beautiful session. Thank you so much, and Jai Hind.
Thank you very much. And I would also like to thank all the attendees who have spared their time and with us for this total session. We will definitely share the presentations once we receive from both the countries with all our attendees and also our members who were not able to attend so that we can get their inputs as well. And then come back to both the excellencies, seek your convenience, come over and meet you and take this further. So thank you very much to all of you. Thank you, Jagmohanji, for sparing your time. Thank you, excellencies. Thank you, Pramila ji. Thank you, Marcel. Thank you. Thank you, SG.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
you.